Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky Loads 15, and in this video we're going to be previewing day 3 of Royal Ascot. It's been another hard work day today. We only really had 2 each ways coming for us, so again it was a little bit of a mixed bag. We had a couple of near misses, but it was a really hard day and the bookies definitely were rubbing their hands together because they definitely had the victory against the punters, and it's going to be a really hard day tomorrow. Our each way that came in was Society Power. We tipped that one up at 12-1 last night, and also as well Shades of Blue in the Queen Mary tipped that up at 6-1 each way. It was very well fancied overnight and throughout the day, but the each way value kind of went by the time that race came, so that was the only thing that really went well for us. I did back Signara Cabello though of John Quinn's in that Queen Mary privately away from it, just put a couple of quid on and it won nicely at 25-1, so I kind of covered myself there. I'm just ashamed I couldn't give you guys that tip. So really it's a bit of a horrible day today, and it doesn't look like it's going to be any easier tomorrow. A lot of tricky racing to work out, but we'll give it a go and hopefully I can point you in the direction of a winner. We haven't even had a winner yet at Royal Ascot. I know if you're tuning into the first time and I've just said that and you're going to go away now because I haven't tipped a winner, but bear with me. I have done pretty well at some of these big festivals recently, so bear with, and hopefully I can give you a winner tomorrow. So without further ado, we'll get stuck into the action. First race tomorrow is the Norfolk, which, like we said, is going to be a tricky race tomorrow. Quite a few in here with chances. One I quite liked was Rumble in the Jungle for Richard Spencer and Tom Queally. Now, Richard Spencer actually had a 2-year-old winner at the Royal Ascot meeting last year. You might remember with Raja Singh winning the Coventry, so he knows how to do it at the big occasion. Now, this horse has only appeared once on the racecourse when it ran at Salisbury, and the form of that race has worked out quite well. The first 3 in that race were 8 lengths clear away from the field, so they obviously had a little bit of ability on debut. And the second horse in that race, Well Done Fox of Richard Hannon, has subsequently boosted the form. The third horse, High Horse of Clive Cox, has ran a couple of good races since, and even the ones that are in behind that day have shown a little bit of promise and made the frame in a few races. So the form of that Salisbury race has worked out not too bad. It's by a sire called Bungle in the Jungle, who's having his first season as a sire, and his progeny have been running not too bad. He's racked up a few winners. I know Mick Shannon's had a couple of winners with this sire, so he's not been doing too badly for a first season stallion. And I thought tomorrow, with connections knowing how to win this race, this horse could maybe go well at a price. It's around about 14-1 with bookmakers at the moment, and they obviously think it's a quality horse to be running it at Royal Ascot, and they haven't been tempted to put it in elsewhere. So it's had the one run, and I'm expecting it to maybe put in a good performance tomorrow, and I think he could maybe give us a run for our money in the first race. So that's going to be the selection there in the Norfolk. We then go to the Hampton Court Stakes in the 305. This didn't look very easy either, but one I thought was quite interesting at a price. It's 9-1. I think it's going to be well backed tomorrow. Is a horse called, I hope I pronounced this right, Wadilsafa. Now this one is trained by Owen Burrows, who's one of the Godolphin trainers. Jim Crowley, former champion jockey in 2016, is booked for the ride. Now this horse is by Frankel, and Frankel's protege have been doing really well at the Royal Meeting. You had Without Parole, you also had Monica the Glen win, and a couple of others have done really well that I've probably forgotten, but Frankel's been doing already quite well at this meeting. But this horse is a very interesting horse. It won really well last time on its seasonal reappearance, overturning a horse with Roger Charlton's called Herculean, which it ran against on its first ever time at racecourse, which was Ascot, where it finished second. But this season it reversed that form very comprehensively, winning by 3.5 lengths and very comfortable style at Newmarket. There were a few things wrong with it that day, the head carriage, and it was a bit green. You think it's going to come on for that, and I thought at 9-1 tomorrow, with bookmakers paying a few places, this one could give us a run for our money and could go pretty well tomorrow in this race. So I thought he could be a good bet there. We then go to the Ribblesdale, which again is a very tricky race, the 340 at Ascot. We're going with a horse here called Perfect Clarity. Was very well fancied for the Oaks, was very well backed on the day, finished in 7th place in the end, and the ground was definitely against it that day. They had a bit of rain that day and it made the ground soft. Now I think this horse, Perfect Clarity, it needs the dry ground. Now it's trained by Clive Cox, who we've already touched upon, did well for us today with Shades of Blue. His horses have been running not too badly. Adam Kirby booked for the ride. Now I thought this horse going back to good to firm ground tomorrow should go really well. It's definitely going to like the ground. It won the Lingfield Oaks trial in really good style, and its form of that race has been working out not too badly, and I thought really At 10 to 1 tomorrow, it could bounce back. I would probably be just against Wild Illusion. It might have had a hard race in the Oaks, but our selection might have had a hard race in the Oaks. But I think Wild Illusion likes a little bit of cut in the ground, and I would probably be willing to take her on. And I thought tomorrow by Nathaniel, this horse. Nathaniel fillies often and keep improving. Thought Perfect Clarity could definitely make the frame at a price. Then the big race of the day, the whole entire Royal Ascot meeting, is the Ascot Gold Cup, the 420. Now, no surprise here for me. I think Stradivarius is the one you have to be with tomorrow. Trained by John Gosden, and Frankie Dettori, the man of the moment, is booked for the ride. Now, this horse won at the Royal Festival last year, winning the Queen's Vase. It then went and won the Goodwood Cup as a 3-year-old, had a cracking run in the St. Leger, won on its reappearance at York at the Dante meeting already this season, so it's done pretty well. The form of that race has worked out not too badly as well. So really, you've got to think Stradivarius has got some strong form claims, but he's got Order of St. George to beat. He's got the French Raider, Verizabad, I think it's pronounced. Desert Skyline could maybe cause a surprise, and Jessica Harrington's horse is not bad, and there's probably a couple of other horses that I've forgotten. But I thought Stradivarius as a 4-year-old was the one he had to be with. It was a bit of a shock last year with Big Orange winning, but I thought really the condition should suit, and Stradivarius has a look of an improver about him, and he could have a really good career as a 4-year-old later on in the season. But I think he's the one you want to be with tomorrow, and I wouldn't be surprised maybe if Stradivarius could just maybe pull out a little bit more than Order of St. George. But it's a very open race. Let us know your opinions on that race tomorrow. I'd love to know what you guys have got to say in that. But for me, Stradivarius is the one you want to be with. He's run about best odds I've seen out there at 9 to 4, so that's what I'm going to be backing in the race tomorrow. We then go to the 5 o'clock, a very tough race in the Britannia Stakes. We're going with a horse here called Corrosive, who I think can give us a good run for our money. 12 to 1 bookmakers at the moment, trained by Hugo Palmer. Josephine Gordon is booked for the ride, often rides to this stable. She could be the first female jockey to make or to have a Royal Ascot victory since Gay Calloway back in 1987. I'm actually making a documentary at the moment about female jockeys at Evolution, so if she wins, it would be a cracking story to tell. But Corrosive did a really good performance last time over the course and distance, and Josephine Gordon rode a handicap winner the other day for Hugo Palmer in good style, so she's been riding well. Corrosive knows how to go around the track well. Josephine was aboard that day. This horse is looking for its 4th straight win in a row. For course and distance form is a massive tick in the box. Definitely always pays dividends at Ascot. Stall 24 as well. That's where they came down for the Hunt Cup. So it's going to be drawn in round about the right part of the track. And I thought tomorrow had a good chance to get multiple places, 6, 7 places in quite a few different bookmakers. So I thought Corrosive would give us a good run for our money. Then again, another hard race to end the day. The 5:35 King George V handicap. I quite like the chances of Occupy here. I thought he could give us a run for our money. He's 25 to 1 bookmakers at the moment. Rafe Beckett trained, who hasn't been having the best season, but Harry Bentley is booked for the ride. These two can get it right on the big occasion. By Declaration of War, who's a really good sire to follow at Ascot, won himself here at the Royal Meeting when he was having his own racing career, winning the Queen Anne, you might remember, back in 2013, I think it was. It's out of a Galilean mare, so these horses tend to improve. It's got it in the breeding to stay over the 1:03. 3rd at last time at Nottingham, where the form of that race has been boosted because the John Gosden winner has come out and won since, and it gave away a penalty in that race to that John Gosden horse. So it could go quite well tomorrow in the colours of Highclere, Thoroughbred racing, good respectable owners to follow. And I thought, yeah, 25 to 1, not bad, but you could make a case for quite a few others. But I thought he could maybe go well, stepping up in trip as well and conditions to suit. So I thought tomorrow he could go well. So they're the 6 selections for day 3 of Royal Ascot. Let us know how you've been doing in the comments box below, what you're going to be backing tomorrow. Also as well, want to know what you're going to be backing in the Gold Cup. So they're the selections for tomorrow. For more horse racing videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel here at Lucky Loaders 15. You can also check out myself on social media at Lucky Loaders 15. So go and check me out on Twitter if you haven't done so already. So that's all I've got to say. Please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.